from Cleveland's most accurate weather team. This is 19 First Alert Plus, sponsored by the man that makes them pay, Tim Misney.
It is a 19 First Alert Weather Day on this Friday. Let's take a live look outside. Shannon Smith coming to you live from our 19 News Digital Center. You can see outside, look at that. It's cloudy skies, and you're probably wondering, of course, what are we talking about here with the 19 First Alert Weather Day? But we are watching a huge system really just across the country. Kelly referred to it as a big boy because it's literally hitting everyone across the country. Every state is under some kind of warning or some kind of, it's impacting them in some way. Here in Northeast Ohio, it's going to impact us with rain, a wintry mix tonight, but then wind is really the big story, especially as we know a big game happening tomorrow down in Houston with the wild card weekend with the Browns and the Houston Texans. The thing is a lot of people who aren't going to the game are obviously going to watch it, a lot of watch parties, but the issue is you may lose power. Kelly and Jeff have been talking about that all morning long because of those high winds. So let's get right on over to 19 First Alert meteorologist Kelly Dobeck, who's breaking down really what we can see and when we'll see it. Kelly.
Yeah, Shannon, you really reiterated that this is a big system impacting, millions of people, but I really want to focus on the local impacts here as we talk, just to let folks know what to expect and when as we head through today and tomorrow. So by this afternoon, and I'll show you a future view here in a moment, we've got a rain-snow mix coming in around 4 o'clock when the winds start to pick up as well. It'll be snow to start, then mixing with rain, eventually changing into all rain. This will not be great for the evening commute. I know a lot of folks will have a little bit shorter days on Friday, but even the kiddos coming home from school, just keep in mind if you are traveling out and about tonight, when we've got winds this strong, gusting over 40 and 50, and we've got rain and snow mix or just rain coming down, it can cause big visibility issues. So that's going to be number one. This afternoon and evening, we've got rain, snow mix to rain and wind. Heading into tonight, colder air starts to funnel in through the day on Saturday, so any leftover moisture changes into snow. We'll pick up a couple of inches of snow, not a ton of snow tomorrow, but the big issue is going to be with the wind staying strong. That wind advisory and the high wind warning for Cuyahoga County Lake and the Ashtabula Lakeshore. Really areas along the lakeshore have a higher chance of seeing the winds closer to 60. But with you got gusty winds like that and even just a little bit of light snow coming down, that can cause blizzard conditions or whiteout conditions because the winds are so strong and eliminates the visibility. You can't see anything. So that's going to be a big concern through the day tomorrow as well. And as we mentioned, with the wind gusts, we saw it earlier this week, it can lead to power outages, it can lead to trees down, it can lead to wind damage, and then you tack on some much colder air moving in this weekend into early next week, those power outages become even more concerning. So just a reminder to make sure you've got a plan in place, the generators, the phone batteries charged, and checking in on your neighbors, grandma and grandpa, anybody that may need some extra help, especially if they do lose power. Make sure to keep them in mind here, especially when things start getting cold as we head through the second part of the weekend. So let's walk you through Future View now. Timestamps on the left-hand corner of your screen here. Notice we're still dry through about lunchtime, and then 3-4 o'clock we get that quick burst of snow coming in that changes into rain. That'll also be concerning. We've seen a quick burst of snow earlier this week too, could cause some visibility problems, some slick spots out on the road during the evening drive. And then we've got the rain, that's that changeover happening this evening. Temperatures are well above freezing, but then the crash will happen as we head through the day tomorrow. So look at this, by 7 a.m. we're in the 20s. We've got some snow coming in. This snow, even though it's not widespread, it doesn't look heavy everywhere, this will be concerning because the winds are still going to be very strong. So something to keep in mind if you've got to be out and traveling tomorrow, if you maybe had plans to go to a watch party, just be really careful out on the roads and keep in mind too that potential for the power outages. Have the backup plan for you for somewhere else to watch the game. Now again, the snow's not going to be super heavy, but we do have lake effect to talk about on Sunday too, so we could see higher amounts in Ashtabula County and Lake County. Jeff just did a really awesome explainer about the lake effect snow potential heading into the second part of the weekend that you can catch on First Alert Focus tonight. Want to just remind people about our new show. It is all weather. We really just can dive into the impacts of the weather. The entire 19 First Alert weather team is a part of it, so something to keep in mind, especially if you're getting a little bit nervous about this weekend. The more information you have, the less nerves, right? You know what to prepare for, you know what to expect, and that's exactly what we're going to try to do here and what we do with that show. So 7:30 on the CW, you can catch that and the rest of the team really breaking down this alert day. But overall, here's what you need to know. I want to go into the timeline before we go into the 7-day forecast. So right now, we've got quiet conditions. This afternoon, the winter mix changing over to the rain, the gusty winds. Tonight, we'll have just rain, even stronger winds expected. Tomorrow, we've got snow and wind and colder air moving in. So that's where we could see a lot more of those impacts as well. So something to keep in mind here, especially if you had plans, travel plans. We are already seeing a lot of delays at the airport if you're heading out west, because Shannon mentioned this is a giant storm that's going to be impacting a lot of the country. Let's take a break. We'll talk more about the cold air in the 7-day when we come back.
I've represented families just like yours for over 4 decades. Listen, if you need me, call me. You know I'll be there for you, and I'll make them pay. In the meantime, I'll keep an eye out for you.
So this afternoon, that wind advisory and the high wind warnings go into effect at 4 o'clock. The wind stays strong this afternoon through tomorrow. We've got the chance of snow, high wind concerns Saturday, more breezy conditions, a chance for a little lake effect too, cold air coming in as we head through the second part of the weekend. Look at these temperatures, especially at night. That's where we'll be concerned, because the wind chill, the feels like temperature to your skin could be below 0. So that's also going to be a big concern for power outages. That's why we're really honing in on that power outage impact, because it's not just the wind, but it's also the cold we'll have to deal with, Shannon.
Yeah, thank you, Kelly. And also, I know you said too, not only do we break it down in all of our newscasts throughout the day, but also with First Alert Focus. We'll definitely have that for you at 7:30 tonight. But yeah, look at the high for next week for most days is still in the teens. And I know you said that's the coldest air that we've seen since December 2022.
Yeah, so not this Christmas, but the Christmas before. That was when we had some of the coldest air during that December season. So it's been a minute. It's been over a year since we've been this cold.
And you know how short our memory span is here in Northeast Ohio when it comes to weather. So yeah, that's going to come as a shock to some people. But thank you so much to 19 First Alert meteorologist Kelly Dobeck for breaking down that First Alert weather day. It's a lot to cover because there's a lot going on with that wintry mix that'll start this afternoon. And then, of course, how the winds will play in as well, a little bit of snow. So make sure that you download that 19 First Alert weather app, as we will, of course, walk you through every step of it. You'll get that alert right to your phone. You can see or you'll know, of course, what to expect heading into your area before it even gets there, because that's, of course, just how talented our most accurate weather team is. But also, we break things down when it comes to the impacts. This huge storm that's hitting the United States right now, we break that down in our show First Alert Focus, which you can catch on the CW, our sister station, weeknights at 7:30. I do want to bring up, I did just check, I'm checking right now actually, the airport, Cleveland Hopkins, because we did have some cancellations and even some delays this morning. Many of them are heading to Chicago. A lot of the flights that were canceled this morning. There was one Southwest flight at 8:30 that was canceled this morning, one heading off to Boston that was delayed. The next flight that's probably in the next few hours or so, there's a flight to Toronto that's delayed at 10:45. There's also a canceled Chicago flight on United for 11:14. Just triple check if you have a flight out this morning, as a lot of them that are headed to Chicago have been either canceled or delayed, or just heading west have been canceled or delayed. So make sure that you check. We know a lot of people are heading down to Houston, trying to at least. 19's Katie Tursick was live at the airport this morning. She's already told us that some people are stuck here in Cleveland now because their connecting flight to Chicago to head down to Houston was canceled or delayed. So, of course, we'll have that story for you coming up later on 19 News. We'll take another live look outside on this Friday. A lot going on in the weather department, and, of course, with Wild Card Weekend. Another reminder for you, because of the game, of course, we'll have our tailgate show, Serpentini Tailgate, at 1 o'clock. But also, so you don't forget, if you want to watch the game, you can watch it. Of course, it's kind of an issue for some people, but DirecTV customers, you can watch the game over on our our sister station, Telemundo Cleveland. We've kind of already given that disclaimer. You may not really have sound because most of it will be, or all of it will be in Spanish. There's also, though, you can check on Spectrum. It's channel 11 for that game. Of course, tomorrow, the Houston Texans, Cleveland Browns, Saturday at 4:30. We'll have all of our coverage for you live from Houston as well. So, of course, we'll have all the latest news and headlines for you on our 19 News app. You can also check us out anytime you want on cleveland19.com. We'll see you back on the air for 19 News at 11 on the CW43, a little over an hour, about an hour and 15 minutes. And we'll see you for 19 News at noon on CBS 19. For now, I'm Shannon Smith. Have a great Friday. Be careful when it comes to those power outages as well.